Hello everybody, welcome back to LAB. I'm doing a video today all about commercial awareness. That buzzword that everybody's talking about, but you don't really know what it means. Hopefully after today, the whole thing will seem a whole lot less scary. I'm going to break this down into a few short sections. So the first one is going to be, what is commercial awareness? Then, why do you need to be commercially aware? Then how you become commercially aware? And finally, how you show that you're commercially aware. So first of all, what is commercial awareness? Commercial awareness is a fancy word for having an understanding of what's going on in the world around you. So that's both in the legal marketplace, but also in the economy. What you've got to remember is that all law firms are functioning businesses as well. And when recruiters and partners are looking to recruit you as a trainee, they are looking to recruit the future leaders of the business, the partners of the business, the people that are going to lead by example and grow the business into an even bigger, better and more profitable organisation than it already is. So bear that in mind when you're doing your applications and in interviews. Think about showcasing what a great business person you are and not just what a great lawyer that you are or a lawyer that you will be. So why do you need to be commercially aware? For the reasons I've just said. You're not going to be a great business person unless you have an understanding of what's going on in the world around you. You need to understand the market that your law firm is operating in and the commercial pressures that it is under when it is trying to remain profitable. There is a lot of competition out there and there is a lot of pressure from new rules and regulations that are coming into play all the time that make life more and more difficult for law firms to be successful. So in order for you to be a great leader, you need to be aware of those things and you need to be specific with the firms that you're applying to as well. You need to know what your particular firm's aims are, what their objectives are, what their values are, and what they are trying to achieve. So when you're researching your firms and you're putting together your applications, think about tailoring them to your specific firms. In particular, think about the types of legal changes that are coming in that your firm might be susceptible to. Things like changes in the economy, for example, Brexit is going to have a huge impact on the economy and that in turn is going to have a huge impact on your firm's clients and your firm. So think about ways in which any significant changes to the economy or to the world in general are going to impact upon your firm. How do you become commercially aware? The easiest way to become commercially aware is read the news. But don't panic, I am not telling you to pick up a newspaper and read it cover to cover or read the ins and outs of the Financial Times. That is not necessary. All you need to do is download some news apps, spend 5 minutes a day looking at those news apps, looking at the headlines and briefly reading through them. So when you wake up and you snooze your alarm, in those 5 minutes that you are snoozing your alarm, pick up your phone and look at your news apps. Another great way of being commercially aware or staying commercially aware is social media. I use social media loads for everything. If you follow the news applications, the news websites, but you also follow the legal websites as well. Good examples I've listed in my legal websites video if you haven't seen that already. But in addition to those, I would also recommend following sites like The Lawyer or perhaps Lawyer to Be. Other things are Legal Cheek. Legal Cheek is a really good one because they do a weekly roundup of the news as well, so it's really good just to flick through the headlines. And there are sometimes a few off-the-wall examples on there as well, which are a bit more fun to read. So social media is massive, and download the news apps. Another thing which can sometimes be helpful is to go to your careers centre. Most universities or colleges have a dedicated careers centre or section of the library that is dedicated to legal news publications. Have a quick flick through there as well if you prefer to read things in paper than to read them online. Also speak to your careers advisor as well because they will be really up to date with what's going on in the legal marketplace and they will be able to give you some hints and tips as to what kind of changes may affect particular firms. The final thing I want to talk about is how you show that you're commercially aware. Obviously, this is what you're most interested in because it's really difficult to get this across to the firms that you're applying to, particularly in application forms. It may not always be obvious that they're asking you a commercial awareness question. It unfortunately won't say, tell me about your commercial awareness or how commercially aware you are. The commercial awareness question will be worded something like, tell us about a change that is coming into the legal marketplace and how our firm should remain profitable in light of this change. Or if you were to become a partner in this business, what changes would you make to the business and why? These are the commercial awareness questions where they're expecting you to showcase your knowledge of what's going on in the economic and the legal marketplace and tailor it specifically to that firm. So that's where you can really go into detail and show off all that you know about what's going on, talk about specific deals that their firm are doing and how these interconnect with the changes in the legal marketplace, talk about their values, talk about their objectives, talk about where they are on the scale of law firms and where they want to be. All of those points. Try and get in as much information as you possibly can that is as specific as possible to that firm, and that is where you will really shine out. An example from when I was applying to largely claimant personal injury firms, and there was a reform that was about to come in called the Jackson Reform. This reform, one of the things that it did was change the way funding agreements operated. So previously, claimant personal injury lawyers recovered the large proportion of their legal costs from the defendant. However, when the Jackson Reform came in, that changed and there were some items that weren't recoverable from the defendant, and we therefore had to charge our clients for those fees. That meant we had to rethink the whole way our conditional fee agreements were worded. We had to think more carefully about what cases we were taking on in order to ensure that our firm remained profitable and we were also still acting in the best interests of our clients. So that was a really obvious one for me to talk about, but there will be similar things in every field. The law is really tightening up, particularly on costs, so that is always something to think about. If you're applying to particular types of firms who work under fee agreements rather than private retainers, think about cost, because that has a huge implication on the way that businesses work. Okay, so that is about it, and that's all I really wanted to say, and I hope that this has been helpful and it's helped you a little bit with how to improve your commercial awareness and understand what it is. Please leave me some feedback as always, thumbs up, thumbs down, why you like it, why you don't like it, what else you would like me to do or like me to change about these videos, and as always, please subscribe if you want to hear more from me. Thanks very much.